Before UFC 206, I did a video where I showed Joe Rogan saying that Anthony Pettis was one of the best fighters in MMA. It's still up. The reason I did that was because how in the hell could you say he's one of the best when he had lost 3 out of his last 4 fights? Now, after UFC 206, I have a question for Joe Rogan. Is Anthony Pettis still one of the best fighters in MMA? Look at what I'm showing you. He's lost 4 out of his last 5 fights. 4 out of his last 5. That should get him a pink slip. Most dudes would be cut on a run like that. Hell, 3 out of 4 he would have been gone. But not only was he not gone, he was gifted a number 5 ranking in the UFC featherweight rankings after only one fight, which he barely won, didn't win in dominant fashion at all. Gifted a number 5 ranking and then gifted an interim title shot, which he missed weight for. So, Joe, please answer my question. Is Anthony Pettis still one of the best fighters in MMA? That's very disrespectful. There's so many good guys out there on win streaks and putting up good numbers, and you make a statement like that. You should have said that about Max Holloway, not about Anthony Pettis. Now let me get to Anthony Pettis. There's no way to sugarcoat this. There's no way to put it than just say it like it is. Anthony Pettis, it's time for you to retire. You have lost 4 out of your last 5 fights. You can't make featherweight. You say you're going to go back up to lightweight. Who are you going to be at lightweight? I wouldn't favor you over anybody in the top 5. You are a former WEC and UFC lightweight champion. If you can't compete at the top, if you're not in title contention, there's no reason for you to keep fighting. You reached your peak shortly after coming into the UFC. Your win streak began with Jeremy Stevens. You had a brutal head kick knockout over Joe Lozon in Japan. I watched that fight live. Kicked his head off. It was impressive. First round. Then on Fox, first round you finished Donald Cerrone. That's a hell of a win. Okay. Then you first round finished UFC lightweight champion Benson Henderson to become champion. After that, you quickly finished Gilbert in 2. Those 4 fights, that was a hell of a run. Quick stoppages over top competition. And then what happened? You fought RDA, and RDA took your soul. You haven't been the same since. In my opinion, you've had a bunch of injuries, and you fought a guy who dominated you 5 rounds to none, which, how many UFC champions do we see lose their title 5 rounds to none? I can't think of any off the top of my head. So you were this dominant fighter who was dominated and embarrassed and lost your title. And you haven't been the same since. Like I've said, you've had a good number of injuries. It caused you to be out for long periods of time. And then you lost your title. And ever since then, it's been all downhill. In my opinion, you'll never be what you were from February 2012 to December 2014. That was your peak. It's not going to get any better than that. You don't look like you're going to win a title again at all. So there's no reason to continue to keep putting mileage on the body, the abuse, taking shots, ruining your legacy. If you get out now, I think there's still some likelihood that you'll be in the Hall of Fame one day. You've ended badly, but you had a hell of a run. You had some great highlight finishes. It's time to hang it up. It's time to coach. It's time to be a gym owner, a club owner. I think you're doing all those things. It's time to get out the game. It's not going to get any better than what you have. Nothing else to prove. Get out and enjoy your life, man. Because you're ruining your legacy and your record's just going downhill.